I make plenty of mistakes. And I only cut this thing wrong 97 times. I probably took the fenders off 34 times. Put them back on at least 104. In the end, I think I got it all right. Hey, welcome back to another video. Hey, welcome back to another video. I wanted to show you how far we've come along on this Genright Fender install. So I just finished cleaning up some of my garage from this project. So as you see, I have made some progress compared to last week. The hood closes all the way, mind you. So we'll take that. So this was an incredibly in-depth project. Let me show you step by step some of the things I've had to kind of figure out as I've gone through this. So, starting up front, let's go ahead and just open it. Man, I wonder if I should back you out and show you what I got in the driveway where you can actually see. Let's see. We got pretty good light in here. All right, so our first step. Last you saw, let's see, we were trimming the fender around there. That came out okay. I haven't had a chance to clean everything, but yeah, let's get this out in the light. There we go. It's a little more honest representation. So, you paid extra money for your battery mount, did you? Me too. Did it come with a way to mount the battery? It did not. So that's kind of fun. Maybe I missed it somewhere in there. I went through every step of the instructions. I saw no way to mount the battery. It gives you a nice tray to put it in, but an actual tie down it does not have. So right now we're running with the old bungee cord. But it does tuck it up there nice and tight. It's got about 6 bolts that go to the firewall all the way on down. Oh, we can look back up in there and see if that's showing through, but it does have some mounts. So it does feel secure and held in there. I just have to come up with some type of custom mount. Next would be your fuse box. So that, as you can see, it's got some fresh paint on it and it has some 2 bolts there and then 1 bolt in the front. And so that's held in there good now. But I had to bend the tabs on that mount to make that work. Let's see, next we have our air box. Now it says you need a cold air, and you might. What I've done here is kind of wedge that factory box in there, moved that, and made it work. So it's in there. I don't know how cold air it's drawing, maybe a little bit. I might try and orient that to where it's pulling right through here and getting a little bit of this cold air. To the passenger side was a huge pain in the butt. Let's see. We mounted both horns. So bent that tab, drilled a hole, mounted. Bent another tab, mounted. Drilled a hole. Underneath here, you can see I don't have that in yet, but I'll get there. I was able to find online, and I haven't mounted it yet, but a extra washing reservoir. And so in order to make that work, had to cut the tab and solder in some new stuff. So I soldered in 2 new wires and made that so that its connector works. And next, move to whatever this thing is. It's got 2 bolts on it, on the back. Down there, another one. And that lets that thing get bolted in. Once you bolt that in, you'll realize that that runs into your clutch slave cylinder. So you're going to have to bend these tabs, which I did, and then screwed that back in. It's solid. Let's see, what other things do we have to come across? You'll have to loosen your strut rods quite a bit so that you can manipulate the grill to line up and get your big fender bolts in there, as well as your 4 along the back of the firewall. Well, does it look better? God, I hope it looks better. I've got like 16 hours into it. Still not completely done. The things that I have remaining are, I've got to install my little light down here. This is the wiring harness for the lights. And this has the wiring for the fog light, which is, I believe, this one. It has the wiring for the side marker light, which is this one. And it has the wiring for the turn signal, which will mount underneath the fender here. So I've still got to figure that out. Get my little lights mounted. I have to come up with a rigid mount for my washer bottle, and I need to come up with the hood pins, so those will mount somewhere in here, and I'll get the drill and mount on the hood. Also, I need the edging to hide the grinding, and probably do some final grinding, because we'll see. Well, had to close it all the way when you got wires in the way. That there. Seems like we have a fairly decent fit. I may need to trim just a little bit more, but on the side, seems like we've got it pretty decent. Still haven't got to the tube fenders in the back yet. They're still over here, unmounted, so I've still got to get my tube fenders. I have the hardware for the tube fenders here. I've got that last little vent grill here to install. It's got my little Genright things in the middle of there. Well, that was another, 8-hour day, cutting and grinding and thinking and doing things that maybe could actually be put in the instructions to help you out. But if you're going to order these fenders, there's a lot of figuring on your own, a lot of customizing and modification, and just kind of muddling your way through it. It's nothing that you can do fast, nothing that's super hard, but it's going to take some time because you have to think through a lot of little problems. Every one of those things needed to be figured out. Everything on the fenders, you have to figure out how to remount on the new fenders. Sometimes the wires are long enough, sometimes they're not, depending on where you want to put things. So you may have to extend some wires. You're definitely not going to be able to use your washer bottle, so come up with something for that. And when you get done though, you got a pretty nice looking Jeep. You've got all that extra tire clearance. You've actually got 3 inches up top and 3 inches towards the back too, so that's definitely going to help with tire clearance, any rubbing issues. I think it's a nice clean install. It looks good, but it will test your patience, that's for sure. So in my last video I talked about taking on big projects in the middle of the summer, and I've lost, I think, 8 days of my summer to this, as far as wheeling goes. I mean, just 2 working days, but 8 days where I could have been driving it to work and back. And I'm still waiting on hood pins and a few other little issues before I can get her back on the road. But hey, sometimes that's what you got to do. Here's something I debate: am I jank or am I busy? As in, am I too busy to actually put out quality work, or am I jank because my phone rings, my kids come crying, I've got a job, I've got a house, pretty successful in the other aspects of my life, and maybe I'm judging myself harshly because I watched online fabricators that are amazing and never show their mistakes. But anyways, I make plenty of mistakes. And I only cut this thing wrong 97 times. I probably took the fenders off 34 times, put them back on at least 104. In the end, I think I got it all right. Man, I'm on a time crunch. I don't know if you're a dad, but if you're a dad, you're always on a time crunch. So better get inside and make these kids some food. Plus, I'm pretty hungry. If you liked the video, like the video. If you didn't, that's all right too. Thanks for watching. Hope all is well with you. Take care. Yep, there's your problem.